So let's jump into this. The other day on the community tab of my YouTube channel, I asked people for suggestions, and I got a handful, about 4 or 5. And this one came from one viewer. I'm going to pull it up, and this is what today's topic is. And it's from Miss Devil, and it says, not sure what time, this is where I live in the Netherlands. Besides that, maybe a good topic would be is how to deal with family members that don't support you going to therapy because they believe it's pointless and too expensive. There's a bunch to dive into on this particular topic. And one of the things that, okay, let's break this down into a few different things. And the first thing on this, and I'll start out with this. Looking for what works for you is key. You don't need anybody else to tell you or to validate what you're doing. Now, granted, if you're doing something really bad, like, using illegal drugs, self-medicating, and doing stuff that's destructive, then, it would be nice for people to try to intervene to help us not go down this destructive path. But in my opinion, all of us are unique, and our path to recovery is going to be just a little bit different. I know I've mentioned in the past, and I'll bring it up again, that I was not a huge fan of therapy and therapists before I went through this myself. In retrospect, that was a huge, colossal mistake because I would have seriously benefited from professional help to help me deal with the core wounds, the inner child wounds that really got me to the point of being in the relationship and all the things that happened with that. So if you are doing something and people are telling you, well, that's just stupid, and I'm going to get into in a moment a set of reasons why that might be, especially from family. But let's just say you have people who are like, well, that's a waste of time. You're going to a witch doctor. That is silly. Talking to people for money is stupid. Kind of like what Miss Devil was talking about, because it's expensive and pointless. The thing is, whatever is working to help you deal with the situation you've been in, whether that is therapy, maybe it's hypnosis, maybe it's these YouTube channels, because someone could easily say, why are you wasting so much time on YouTube? It's pointless. Well, it's not that it's expensive, but it's a waste of time. It's pointless and it's a waste of time. You're listening to this dribble on YouTube that has no bearing on making your life better. Whatever is working for you, lather, rinse, and repeat on it. Now, I will say this. Let's say you're working with a therapist and it isn't helping. And you're like, well, this is pointless. I'm not making any progress. Probably means you're dealing with a therapist that's not very skilled with what you're trying to accomplish. And I'll give you a little example on that where, excuse me, when I was going to my last therapist, who is phenomenal, there were many times where I would pull up in front of the office, sit there and say to myself, this is pointless. I'm pointing to the screen, but I'll click this back up. This is pointless and expensive. That's what I was thinking myself. And then I would walk into the session. And within that 45 minutes, I would walk out with my mind blown with the progress that I felt that I had made during that time. I think it's really key to think about it in what is actually helping you. Some people are really helped by going to church. If that is what works for you, do it. If it's If it's going to yoga classes or something, or some other, thing that helps you connect with yourself and connect with what you're doing, that's okay. And if other people are saying that it's pointless, that it's a waste of time, that you don't need to be doing this, it's not their journey, it's yours. It's your journey through this process. And my take on it is, as long as you are doing stuff that is not destructive, like for instance, if your process is going and getting hammered and drunk every night, not a good thing. If your thing is going around and sleeping with every person you possibly can find to numb the pain and distract you, that's not healthy. But things that are considered healthy, then I think it's, don't necessarily take other people's opinion into that. And now we're going to roll into the reality of this. And what I mean is, why is it that somebody would say, this is a waste of time, this is pointless? And especially from family. And this could be from friends too. But you have to be very cautious of people who give you that type of advice, because there is a strong possibility that they are worried about becoming exposed. They are worried about you losing you as a source of supply, as a target for their emotional abuse and their emotional needs, not yours. This is why oftentimes family, parents, siblings might recommend you doing this, because they don't want the story to come out. They don't want to be exposed. They don't want you to have your epiphany, realize there's more going on than what's just happening in this particular moment, and that they might be a part of the problem. Oftentimes, whenever you first start this, you are so singularly focused on what's happening right now that you don't even realize that there's other issues in your past, potentially your family of origin, grandparents, whatever, that there's something in the past that you've put away that you haven't really addressed, that's just waiting to come to the surface. Excuse me. And I'm not entirely sure, because I think I got a super chat, but it's not showing. So I apologize if someone did that and I didn't see it, because, I did. More harmony. I see this other window that I can look at. So thank you so very much for that. I really appreciate the support. And I can't move it over to see if you said anything, but thank you very much for that. I appreciate the super chat and the support. I'm going to look at some of the comments of what people are saying right now. This is good. MFA says, Duane, if your family isn't supporting you in whatever way you need to heal, it is all the more reason to have a well-versed, well-trained, licensed professional in your corner. That is absolutely true. Think about it. Why would anyone encourage you not to seek help? The only way maybe they could do that is if they were paying for it and they're like, I don't want to pay for it. But the reality is that somebody who really genuinely cares about you will want you to seek help, will be encouraging you to do that.